Hello everyone, this is Dr. Mer Aradhna bara from Department of Botany, Bharati Vishwavidyalaya. Today we are going to see on sample designing in research methodology. Sample designing. What is sample designing? As in scientific study, when we talk about botanical survey or sample design, why it is needed and what is sample and what is sample design. When we see sample, the respondent, as in English language or in Merriam-Webster dictionary we go through, we see sample is nothing but a respondent or an entity that is denoted by N. Okay, so that is N. It is denoted by a small n. So any entity that we have to check or we have to do experiment is known as a respondent in many cases or many studies. But in plant science, the plant or the sample you want to study on is known as sample. So one researcher should know what to sample, what to study, on which thing he has to study. So for this he need to do sample designing, or he need to take sample designing, through which pattern and which technology he or she should use to determine the qualitative and quantitative analysis in his or through his research. So when we talk about in plant sciences, sample is important in case of inventory. What is inventory? To collect factual data is known as inventory, and to present in suppose we have to find out the number of species or the composition of plant vegetation is when from different perspective we collect data, then it is known as inventory. Okay, so inventory is collection of data Inventory is nothing but collection of data. In plant sciences, it could be vegetation or inventory, the terms and composition of plant in case of richness, evenness. For in earlier we found out, if we have to find out Ronquier's life form or composition, different type of biodiversity index, then it is known as inventory, or you can say sampling of the data. How we sample and what are the different method or technologies, how can we sample it, we will see in next class. Here we should, it is an introductory class, and we should see through what are the main composition and why sampling design is necessary in research methodology. In this class we are going to see. So the first thing, designing, and where in plant science sampling design is come. First, as I said, inventory to collect data from different field. Okay, in other studies, in humanities or other group of study or discipline of study, we call respondent, and respondent is known as sample. But in plant science, the constitution or the facts we have to collect is known as sample. Okay, anything that is needed to study or that field we want to inquiry about is sample on our scientific studies. So as I said, any researcher should know what to study and how much the qualitative work to be done on any experiment. He or she has a knowledge, he should have an idea to pursue his research. Okay, so he has to done inventory in continuous basis. If in plant science is he have to find out different biodiversity index, or to research out the species number or area regarding which type of pattern plant vegetation showing, as Gaussian theory. Gaussian is the first person who introduced the ecological concept of vegetation classification. Okay, so the Gaussian classification, there are in species, if you want to find out some species in plant sciences, there are different pattern on which the forest or vegetation are classified. First it is botanical classified, second it is climatic classified, and third it is classified on the basis of ecological, that is composition of both. Ecological composition are both in the first one as botanical and plus ecological or forest type mixed. So the ecological classification of plant, that is the composition of vegetation, can be studied through different type of biodiversity indexes such as Shannon indexes and Simpson index. This is commonly used index, or after collecting your sample biodiversity, or study, if you want to study cyanocology, or you want to study community dynamics in plant sciences. Okay, you want to study plant dynamics, plant association and behavior with their community or other environment, interaction between the other environment, you have to calculate the composition, its relation between the other factor, biotic factor, and as well as socio-economic factor regarding its environment of the plant community. Okay, the study of population or collecting data regarding the census study, when we come to data study, how sample is collected and what to study in sample design, we have to see this. What to study? If you want to study population of some certain or composition of certain plants, okay, which type of plant is growing in this part, which type of plant is growing in another part. So all this composition or the richness of plant or evenness of plant or dominance of any plant, how will you study? How will you get all these things recorded? Through sampling. Which type of sampling you are preferred to do? There are some indexes through which your composition is known, and through which how you will collect. Suppose for some index you can collect a random sampling, or you can strategically define some of the collection method. So in next class we will going to see what are the different type of sampling in plant sciences. So first, as I said, if you want to work in census or number of plant species, whether regardless of any group, whether it is pteridophyte, whether it is gymnosperm or angiosperm, you have to study these type of indices to learn about the evenness and dominance about that particular indexes, evenness and dominance about that particular indexes, and as I said, ecological classification done and the Shannon indexes. What is the Shannon indexes? Shows similarity and dominance between some plant, which same type of plant is growing in some places, and which type of plant are dominant in some places. How will you will know? You will know through the area and the composition of plant or vegetation at that particular area. Okay, so you have to record it, you have to collect the data regarding plant, which type of plant are there in certain area. Yeah, then you have to check the relativeness between the plant and the area, okay, where it is growing. So there are number of biodiversity indices, or you can say anything you want to sample. There are number of composition and there are number of software also which readily prepare all these information about the biodiversity. That is one of Sampson index, Shannon index, Simpson index, similarity index, or Jacquard index, or Berger-Porter dominance index. On the richness and evenness, this will give you the direct result about the ecological classification of vegetation. Okay, so these are the different various type of indexes in ecological indexes. So in ecological classification, I said there are different type of vegetation, and regardless their class and life form, you can calculate the sample through all these methods. Okay, so why it is necessary? It is necessary because Gaussian given the classification, and different type of plants exhibit different type of properties. To study this type of plant, you have to collect data in forms of collection of plant regarding of their morphological structure, or whatever factors you want to study. These are included in this type of sampling technique. So in next class we are going to deal with sample design in terms of what is, in biological term, what is sample and different type of sampling design. Okay, so this is about the sampling design and ecological inventory. Okay, thank you for this class. We are going to see, we will meet in next class. Thank you.